Hello. Oh, hi, Carla. Lisa. Wow, I've never scheduled live and had people show up before I did. That's awesome. Oh, my goodness. Oh, great. Severe weather moving east. Thanks, Carla. I appreciate it. I'm sorry, I had to drop Grace off at her friend's house because she's sleeping over. And then I had to pick Alexa up at her friend's house because she was over her friend's house like for the afternoon because we have spring break coming up right now. And yeah, so kids are busy. I'm keeping a little bit busy by taking them out. Kids have gotten some haircuts. Still need to get my youngest ones done. But I was thinking, and I know I think I've told this story before. I don't know, like it was most likely in passing or telling somebody a quick story on panel, but this is a real story that happened to my dentist, to my dentist when I was young. Now, I was born in 75, and I was 8 years old. I was 8 years old when this all went down. And I remember it like it was yesterday. So we're going to talk about this dentist from Philadelphia. Honestly, if you look around Google and you look around YouTube, really can't find information on this anymore because it happened so long ago. Hi, user not found. Hey, Blue Ladybug, thanks for coming in. Loopy Lisa, thank you, sweetie. Thank you for letting people know I was running just a little bit late. So I'd come across an interview. So I keep looking up Larry Lavin, Dr. Larry Lavin, Dr. Snow was one of his names. Dr. Cocaine was another one of his names. He turned out being the largest cocaine dealer in the US. Yeah. So when I was young, my mom took us to the dentist. I actually really enjoyed going to the dentist because he was so cool. He was the coolest guy. He was very personable. He was really outgoing. He made you feel extremely comfortable. Not only that, like I said, I was 8 and he played magic tricks on me all the time, like, pulling the quarter out of your ear. I just thought he was all that in a bag of chips. Not only that, he was also, I thought, to be extremely handsome guy. I look at his picture now, I'm like, how did I think that was handsome? I don't find him handsome now. But back then I did. I'm like, I used to think he was really, really cute. And he was very, very personal. Hey, Kyle, how are you? Good to see you. So yeah, moving with that. So I would go to his office. His office weren't, that's a good dentist. Yeah, he was a great dentist. He was an awesome dentist. But his dentistry was just a front for his real job. And his real job was dealing drugs. That's what was like, with your kid, and back in the 80s, and you're told, like, don't, just say no to drugs and this and that, you wouldn't expect well, nowadays we know that anybody can come, a wolf can come in sheep's clothing, any way, shape, or size. Back then, we didn't know that yet. And it was very surprising to me that this personable character guy who was such a great dentist, how could he be involved with something so horrible? And I couldn't understand it. My mom tended to follow the story as it moved on because what happened was, you know what? I have got this. I'm going to let him. He used to live, his dentistry was in Northeast Philadelphia. On a kind of a very busy street. His practice was on one side. There were like stores, fast food restaurants and stuff on the other. Now, this is a quick clip. This is from called The Philly Blunt. They are a podcast. I'm going to definitely put their information down below when I can. but they're called Philly Blunt. These guys are the only guys I have found out who has any kind of interview from him. These potheads are the only one who has a really good interview with Larry Lavin. So I'm going to let him explain what happened in pretty much his own words.
And I didn't want to throw anything in my trash. I thought they would pick up the trash. So I'm going to throw in all these things, a couple other things, in the dumpster across the street from my practice. There was Roy Rogers over there, so I'm going to throw it in there. So I come around the corner on Ashburn or Frankfurt, and I don't turn into the parking lot for my practice. So the cops think I've seen them and running, the FBI. Next thing I know, like literally, I swear 6 of them leap on top of my 733 BMW. And they've got shotguns. They're pumping and screaming at me, stop the car, put your hands up. And I'm trying to yell back at them, if I take my foot off the pedal, I'm going to run you over. It's a, right. It's a standard, Right. And, so finally they get all that, and, I get out, they find those documents. It's unfortunate.
So that was him getting caught by the police back in I believe it was 83. He was caught. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. That's so sweet of you. Thank you. So yeah, he was pretty much using the dentist office, and he was the largest cocaine dealer in the United States back in the 80s, as well as he was a big marijuana dealer. That's how he got started. He got started by going to the University of Penn. When he went to the University of Penn, he got in touch with people who sold marijuana. He was all about marijuana. He didn't smoke it. He wasn't a drug user per se, but no. And that's it, Carla. He kind of knew it was always going to happen. And that video is now him out of prison, and he served, I think he said he served like close to 40 years in prison. But he went on the run, and I can remember because I remember my parents telling us that he went on the run in Europe, that he, fled to Europe. And we didn't hear about him very much after that. And then like a couple of years later, there was this huge blow up on the national news where they found him. And I do forget where they found him, but he was living in Virginia Beach, of all places, which is maybe 5 hours. My hair this is an annoying little piece of hair that keeps coming out. It's driving me nuts. It's about 5 hours from Philadelphia. He was a really ballsy guy. He didn't care. He was really good friends with an FBI agent. Like, how kind of pompous and narcissistic do you have to befriend an FBI agent and to think you're going to get away with what you're getting away with? He still has money, Carla. I would love to know where he stashed his money during that time, because I know he's now living in Florida and living a pretty easy lifestyle from what he makes it sound to be, at least. He is married again, because he was married when he got arrested. Yeah. But here's the crazier part. Not only was my dentist a drug dealer, but he wound up being a rap producer. Kid you not. I did not know this back in the day whatsoever. I only caught up to this maybe, I would say, only in the 2000s did I find this out. But yeah, he produced a rap song, and I did play it for Loopy Lisa earlier to see if she knew it, because I'm like, she might not know this song. So Carla, I'm going to see. Let's see if you know what this song is. Let me turn it down for a second real quick. You will know what this song is, Carla, without a doubt. Oh, wrong. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Double Dutch Bus. He produced the song. All right, I don't want to get any kind of a copyright for that. So, yeah, he wound up producing Double Dutch Bus. So he had to put his money somewhere. So he wound up putting his money into being a rap producer for this guy, Frankie Smith. Yeah, he was a rap producer. So there's so much this guy did before he turned 30. Oh my God. And it's crazy that, I didn't see him that way. I mean, I only saw him, and I keep reading some certain articles, and there is a book about him. It's called there's one called Dr. Snow, and the other one I believe is, I forget what the other one was. It was Dr. Drug Dealer or something like that. Dr. Let me put his name in. But that's the crazy thing. There's not much about his information that you can find right now. So, going through, there's not that many videos. The only thing I really found was this podcast from Philly Blunt. And I mean, it was just and I think that's probably, Dr. Snow. That was him. Yes, and he read rum. And I don't know if you don't. I know you don't, because I already said that song to you. But in case you weren't here, yes, he had produced the song Double Dutch Bus. Let me see. This guy is not, he's not hurting at all whatsoever. This is a picture of him now. On a boat. Yeah, I'd like to know where that money went. I could have used some of that money. But yeah, so he gotten caught in 83. And I can remember watching it on the news. And we were just in shock. My mom was in shock. We were all in shock. Who hears it? It was insane. It was a very surreal moment, even for an 8-year-old, to find out that your dentist is this big drug dealer and is wanted all over the country. And when your country seemed like the largest place you could think of, because going across international waters was just way out of the scope of thinking that far. I know for me, I mean, we have family in Ireland. We would every now and then call our family in Ireland, but we didn't call a lot of people who were out of the US. Couldn't afford it. It was so expensive. Things were very different in the 80s. It was. So I wanted to share this story because I thought this story was really funny. I mean, it's funny and it's not, but it's when I was listening to his podcast with the Philly Blunt, the one thing he had said was that he never graduated high school. So how did you get into the University of Penn? But he graduated from the University of Penn. How does that happen? I don't know how that happens. But yeah, he went to the University of Penn with no high school diploma. I don't get that either, but that's what he says. But, reading all of these articles about him and, his neighbors, and he lived in a very, very ritzy part of the Philadelphia area called the Main Line. And he lived in apparently a very, very, very rich neighborhood. And all of his neighbors who were way older than him could not figure out how these 20-some-year-olds have this humongous home in the Main Line out of nowhere. And it was the whole thing, when I think back to it, it's just so crazy because number one, you couldn't even try going to a college these days and not, have a high school diploma. I mean, I have no idea how he got to get independent without a high school diploma, but you're talking about the 70s back in those days. So I don't know how they accepted people into college, but that just would never happen today. And, obviously he's, he put his time in, living, but he's married again, and it's to me, it's kind of nuts. It's kind of crazy. It's just kind of nuts. And I thought I'd share that story because, you know, and I was just over at my friend's house. What took me so long, I was dropping my kids off and picking them up and here and there. And I was telling my friend about this, and he's like, yeah. And you're like, he grew up in New York. I grew up in Philly. So he was like, you know, part of your neighbors were like he was saying his neighbors were, you know, part mafia. I'm like, oh yeah, so were mine. And you had part mafia. Some friends' parents were cops. Some friends, you know, it was a total mix of people where I grew up, whether it was organized crime or unorganized crime. It was crazy. And I think about it now, but it was very normal. Like life was like that was, to me, was normal. It was very normal. And then I think back, I'm like, yeah, that wasn't normal at all. Maybe he bought his way in. Well, no, because he did not start his drug dealing days until he was in the University of Penn. So I don't think he didn't have any money when he first started, as far as I know. I don't see a lot of stuff that he talks about before he got into the University of Penn. But he was the guy who dealt all the pot to all the fraternities. And then he got into cocaine. And these guys do ask him, like, didn't the Philly mob realize that they were losing money? Because you pretty much had most of the coke deals in Philadelphia. And just him, very nonchalant, very whatever about it. I'm like, he didn't care. He didn't care at all. And he didn't care about anything. But he was a master manipulator. He really was. He knew how to get people eating out of the palm of his hands. Didn't help. I mean, it helped him that he was quite a handsome guy and young. That also helped him as well as being a doctor in an area where that's a family practice where you've got children, very young children coming in and got all that stuff in that office. He had all this stuff in the office. That's what blows my mind. I mean, how many times we were in that office? And yet, it was nuts. Just nuts. I'm going to drop a link if anybody wants to come up. Because I'm kind of done with my story for the most part. I'm not very good at ending stories, but there's still so much I want to, you know, think about, listen to, read. I have not read any of his books. My mom did. But she's like, oh my God, he was so arrogant. I couldn't stand him. But look who we got here. Hi, Kyle. How are you? Good. Did you like the story? Yeah. It's a crazy story, I must add. Now, you're in the United States, yes? So do you like this community? You do. One of the few. One of the few. There are times that I like it, and there's times that I don't at all. But anything you would like to add? No? Well, thanks for popping up. I appreciate it. Good to see you, Kyle. All right, guys, I got to go. I got to get back downstairs to the kid, get my stuff done. Otherwise, thank you so much for stopping by. I will be going live probably within the next week or two. Not week or two, day or two. I'm going to try to start getting a little bit more regular with going on. It's been a while for me because I've been sick and ill, and I'm still dealing with a lot of stuff, and it's still not going well for me. So, oh, wait a minute. Somebody else is jumping in.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
What am I doing? Am I on?
Yes, you are.
Oh my gosh. Hang on. Hang on. What am I? Okay,
Uh-oh. Now I lost her. What did you do? There she is.
Oh.
Oh, I like your picture.
Oh no, I look rubbish.
No, you don't.
No, I really do. I really do. I look horrendous.
Kyle, told you twice now. I'm not into the hats. Not into the hats. Don't do the hats.
I
My
saw
head.
I saw the link and I thought, you know what? I'll just pop on and
Thanks.
say hi.
I was just about to sign up, but you said on.
I'm so sorry. I could not show myself. I really couldn't. So I'm glad that that's me and my little girl.
Aww.
Yeah, that's good enough.
She's beautiful.
She is lovely. Yeah, she's awesome. But yeah, that's an incredible story. Oh my goodness. Wow.
I was over and I was telling Dave, I'm like, yeah, he produced Double Dutch Bus. He's like, you've got to be kidding me. I'm like, no.
Well, it's really weird because when somebody said Dr. Snow, I recognize that.
Really?
Well, yeah. When you played me the tune, I didn't recognize the tune, but I know when somebody said Dr. Snow, I immediately thought, yes, I know that name. So
that's what they named him. That was his nickname.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely recognize that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So strange.
It was just, I guess, I don't know. Like, it was bizarre to me. You're brought up, you're supposed to know right from wrong. And then you have this person who you would trust so easily as a child. Mm-hmm. I would have trusted him with that. I thought he was a good guy.
Yeah, of course you would. Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't the type of guy who went around killing people. That wasn't the type of guy he was. But obviously he had to carry stuff around with him especially if you're taking drugs away from the mob.
But that's the thing. Do you remember when I was talking to you earlier, before you went live, and we talked about, somebody mentioned it in chat actually, money laundering.
Yes.
And that's what they do. They use a reputable business. They use people that are kind of responsible, that are trusted. That's how they do it. So it was when somebody mentioned in the chat about money laundering, we'd actually mentioned that, hadn't we? When we were chatting earlier.
Well, that's all it was for, is that he had to launder his money. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Perfect way of doing it. Absolutely. Because people trust, anybody's going to trust a dentist. Anyone's going to trust a doctor. Anything like that. Perfect. Yeah.
Yes. And he was young. He was really young. And in the picture that I put up on the live, that was obviously his mugshot. He was young. He was really young. Exactly. And I can remember his receptionist Cookie. She was really young. And there was another guy in there, and they were all a part of it. All of them had some role of some sort. It was crazy. But if I look to go find it now on there's not much to find about it at all, except the 2 books and this interview on Philly Blunt, which was the only one that I found, which, like I said, I thought was so weird, because he probably could have been interviewed by anybody, including ABC, CBS, all the big name news stations. But instead he went to a bunch of local Philly potheads instead gave a story.
That is just insane, isn't it? I mean, how do you feel now, knowing what you know now? I mean, hindsight is a wonderful thing, but how do you feel now, knowing what you know and knowing that you helped him? And
hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, what else can you do?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
It wasn't my mom's fault. She picked a dentist that we all really liked. My parents went to him too. So it wasn't her fault. It was before the days that you suspected people, good people that you knew, of doing things like that. You wouldn't think of that. I didn't even know what drugs were back in those days, really.
Yeah. Well, why would you? nobody knew. I mean, nobody can be blamed for anything. If nobody knows, then how can you blame them? But when you look back, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah. But I think like that about everything. Like,
That's
you
true.
know, I look at my daughter who's in 8th grade, and then
Yeah.
I think about the things that I did when I was in 8th grade,
Yeah.
and that freaks me out.
Yeah.
That
Yeah. Yeah.
scares me to death.
Yeah.
That literally, because if I was to even say to my kids, like, oh, you know, as long as you're not doing what I was doing, we're all good.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Yeah.
But
I can do it, but you must never.
they were different times though.
They were. Yeah, it's true.
They
Yeah.
were so, I mean, yeah, it was underage drinking, but it was kind of like one of those things that people really didn't pay attention to.
But do you know
It
what
was like,
the difference is, Peg, Ginger? The difference is that these days, everything you do is somehow caught on camera. There is always going to be somewhere that somebody's got a phone. In our day, when we were out partying, that wasn't the case. So we could pretty much do whatever we wanted.
have you
not have
seen the Soleil Moon Fry? I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. The
No.
Soleil Moon Fry Hulu documentary.
No, I haven't.
You have to watch it.
Okay.
Soleil Moon Fry. Do you know who Soleil Moon Fry is?
No.
Did you guys have Punky Brewster back in the days?
No, that does not ring a bell, actually.
No.
No.
That was such a wonderful TV show. It was a great TV show about a little girl who was an adopted little girl, and she just had this. And the thing is that the girl who played Punky was the same. Like I don't think they changed her. They're just like, just know the lines and do it. But she remained herself. And she was just this. She's a light. She is such a bright light.
Okay.
Because you could, once you see her, because she's just radiant. She's wonderful. I think she's great. But she recorded all of her growing up as teens, which in our day and age is unheard of, because nobody took around a camcorder around with them all the time.
No, exactly. That's my point.
So she had one, and she did that, and she wound up hanging out with all the celebrity kids from Hollywood.
Oh wow.
So she goes back and she pulls out this time capsule pretty much and plays it, and there's people that are gone, people that she's still friends with, people who, but that's the thing, is that there's so many people, or people who've had a really hard time with drugs and things like that. And that when you took a camera out, it was never for a malicious reason or to use against someone.
Exactly.
And now when you see a flash, you're like, oh my God, what was I just doing?
Exactly. I mean, I've seen stuff, awful stuff that people have taken. I mean, one of the worst ones I think that I saw was in this country, where a girl of probably about 17, 18 had obviously had far too much to drink and had pooed herself and wet herself and was lying on the pavement. And somebody videoed it and put it on social media. And this poor girl, I mean, it showed her face, it showed who she was. Now, in our day, I mean, I never did that, to be fair. I never did it, but
I don't think I ever shit myself.
We were safe in the knowledge that the only people that would have seen that would have been the people that were with us. That was
right.
It. Whereas this poor girl, millions of people saw her poo and wet herself and she was covered in her own vomit and all the rest of it. She just had to, And
the only way you got through shit like that, even if you did do something embarrassing, was that, okay, I can move on and start again anew.
Exactly.
The internet does not let you do that.
No. And that's the problem. That is the difference between you and I growing up and our children growing up, is that they cannot do anything at all that might be out of the ordinary, because it will be filmed and it will be filmed. And
I've thought about that, because God, how many times did I lie to my parents and go to a party
Oh my God,
and
yes.
not tell them, or I'm
Yeah.
sleeping over this person's house, but I was
Yeah.
actually sleeping at a hotel with my friends at
Yeah.
parties?
Oh my
Like,
God, I did exactly the same. We all did in those days. Yeah, we all
yeah,
did.
and now
Yeah.
they can't. They can't.
No. There's always
And
evidence.
that was a real discussion we had amongst a couple of friends of mine. Like, they'll never be able to lead the lives that we had,
Yeah,
where nobody gave a shit what you did.
exactly. And that's really, it's unfortunate because
It is unfortunate.
it
It's
really is.
horrible.
I actually really enjoyed my teen years. I
Me
really did.
too.
I had a really good time. I didn't have to worry. There was no anxiety there. There was no worry about, the people that you told were the only people that knew, kind of thing. And if you chose to share things with your friends, you knew that they
That
were
was
the
your choice.
yeah.
Now it's
Not the
not your
same
choice
anymore.
anymore.
Yeah, it's not the same anymore, and that's really unfair on this generation, that they're never going to be able to experience kind of just sharing with one person and that being it. That's it. I don't know. It's just it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame that it's
Mhm.
definitely it's very different to how we were brought up. It's very different to how we were raised, and I feel very fortunate that we were able to experience it, because that isn't yeah.
I think about, I mean, there's shit I wouldn't even put on the internet for the fear that people might retaliate years and years later.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
I don't know who I'd be getting into trouble just by voicing something from like that happened
Yeah.
30 some odd years ago.
Oh my God, that's another thing. I was watching a YouTube video today, and we have an ex-minister here called Jo Marnie, and she was sacked from government simply because she said something, and somebody had shared a message that she had sent privately. It was a private message. Nobody was
Yeah, you
supposed to
can't have
see it.
private messages anymore
Yeah,
either.
no, it was a private message that she'd sent to somebody, and it was a little racist. But it was something that she wasn't expecting anybody else to see. And then 20 years later, when she became, and so this was before anyone knew who she was, before she had a job in government, before all of that, somebody decided that they didn't like her anymore and shared it and said, and she lost her job. She lost her job in government
That's how it is these days now.
yeah, because of something. And she kept
That
saying,
happened like 40 years ago.
yeah, and she kept saying, but this was before my job. It was before anyone knew who I was. I did this. I was
I've
never
grown.
expecting it to be
I
shared.
was
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah,
We've all
yeah,
been dumb. We've all
yeah.
said stupid
And
things
that's
in
what
our
she said.
past.
That's exactly what she said.
And
She
we've
said,
all grown from our mistakes, whether we
exactly,
were being judgmental or
exactly.
harsh or
Yeah,
mean or cruel.
exactly.
We
And she
all
said
have
that.
thoughts that go there, but we don't voice
Exactly.
them.
Exactly. And she said, I never ever, she said, I was talking to a friend. She said, how many people don't talk to their friends, their personal private friends, on private messages, saying all sorts of things that
Yeah.
you would not, if you were in a position of status, want to come out. She said, I wasn't in that position at the time. I was talking to a really good friend. She was in her 20s, early 20s at the time. They were having a debate, talking. And I just think it seems really unfair that something comes out 20 years later when she is in a position of authority, and then
That's when
that's
they come and
held,
get you. That's what
yeah,
they
it's
do
held
now.
against her. Yeah. It just seems unfair, and it does happen. It does. Stuff is kept and used, kept and
Now,
used.
you're in England.
Yeah.
How is it now for Good Morning Britain?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the guy, I don't know if you know the Alex Beresford, which is the guy that
Uh-huh. I like
he's
him.
he is now in Piers Morgan's seat. He is now producing and presenting,
Whoa.
not producing, presenting. He is now
Present.
presenting.
He's the
Yeah,
head guy.
yeah. So he is now basically sitting in Piers's seat, and there is a huge, oh my gosh, there's so much an uproar about the fact that he's done that, because people here actually weirdly, although they hate Piers Morgan, they hate more the fact that the person that's thrown him off the program is now in his chair. It's really
Wow.
odd. It's a really odd situation.
Well, I'm not going to say he thrown him off. Piers walked out.
Yeah, but because of him,
Piers
that's
walked
what.
out.
But they're saying people are hating the idea that almost what they're saying is that the guy Alex Beresford kind of did it because he's always wanted Piers's job. He's always wanted his job, and this was kind of the perfect opportunity to sit in his chair. And actually, now that's happened. He is now in his chair. And I think that's what people are thinking, and people are not kind of.
But how could he have ever seen that they would have gotten into such an argument to the point that he would storm off and quit?
Don't know. I have no idea. I don't know.
I would have never expected Piers to be the quitting type. But, I mean, if he didn't, it would be an awkward situation, I'm sure, to go back to that seat again.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, some people agree. I mean, I more agree. Like, I don't think the royal family is racist. I don't.
No.
I really don't.
No.
Not from what I've seen.
We've talked about this too, haven't we? We've talked about this too.
Oh God, you and I talk about royal family all the time.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, like, I was kind of on Harry and Meghan, and I was like, and I watched it. I'm like, I could see that. I could see that. I could see that. But once it came out that she lied about them getting married.
You see, that's the point. Okay, so I don't know if you know about this. It came out today. The Archbishop of Canterbury, who she said had married them in their back garden. She said that, didn't she, on the interview? He has actually come out today and said that's rubbish. He did not do that. He said, I did not do that. He said there is no way that he said he had to sign the marriage register when they got married. He said that would be fraud. There is absolutely no way that he would have done that. He said it was that was not true. Absolutely not true. He said he'd had meetings with them beforehand, obviously, you know, going up to the nuptials.
Why say that then?
I do not know.
Why would you say that?
Well, it's funny. I was talking to colleagues of mine at work about it, and the only thing I can think of, is it different in America? Is it readily, are marriage certificates readily available in America? Because
No,
maybe she wasn't aware.
Only in Vegas.
Okay, so maybe she wasn't aware that in this country, it's very, very, very easy to get any kind of marriage certificate. Doesn't matter who you are, you can get any marriage certificate. Maybe she wasn't aware of that and thought she was safe, and that she could say anything and not be found out.
That blows my mind. The world was watching. Let's call it the world. And like, you didn't think one person in the world would figure that out?
Well, that's the thing. Maybe she thought that because it was the royal family that there would never be anyone. But it's not the same. Anybody, doesn't matter who you are, anybody can get any kind of certificate, marriage, death, birth, anything in this country. All you have to do is apply for it. It doesn't matter who it is. Yeah.
I can't fathom lying about something.
But the fact that the Archbishop of Canterbury had to come out and say no, because he stayed silent for a while, but there were people. He
came out today.
He did. There were people saying you need to clarify this. There were lots of people for days. People have been saying the Archbishop of Canterbury needs to clarify this.
And I'll tell you, the one thing that pissed me off, and like, you know, I understand they did their thing. They got their thing over in England. Well, okay.
Yeah.
But then Gayle King went on live and said, I had spoken to Harry. They said they've talked and the talks are not productive.
Yes. Yeah.
Harry, you're scum. Sorry. You just threw your family really, really under the bus now.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. And I love Harry. I do. And that's, I think, the reason why, because I could give two craps about Meghan Markle. I really could. And I don't care about her. Like, I don't care one way or another. But the fact of the matter is that I've always liked Harry because I've always been a fan of the royals.
But do you know what? Do you know what I think? Do you know what I think is that he's very damaged by everything that's happened to him. And I kind of think that he's maybe been manipulated a lot I think he really has always wanted somebody, just needed somebody, because he really has been traumatized by all the stuff that happened with his mother
Yeah. Oh, I
and
totally
everything
agree.
else.
Yeah.
And I think he's probably very easily manipulated. I mean, I know that that he went through a stage when he was younger, of partying. I mean, he did all sorts of silly things. I mean, he dressed up in a Nazi
I
uniform.
remember.
Yeah, he did all
I
sorts.
remember the pictures all over the
Yeah,
tabloids with the
yeah,
Nazi thing on his arm.
yeah, yeah. So
Um,
he did silly
I
things.
remember him being naked in Vegas.
Exactly. I
Mhm.
think he was very lost. I think he was very lost for a long time, and he found somebody that he thought could be his soulmate. And I think he's being manipulated. I do. That's just my opinion. Again, don't hate me. That's just
I
my
get it.
opinion.
No. I mean,
Um,
honest to God, one thing this whole crazy year has taught me is not to believe what I see, what I read,
mhm.
what comes across my eyes until I do a deep dive, because so many things are bogus. So many things are not real. So many things are staged,
Yeah.
because everybody is trying to get the views. Everybody
Yeah.
hopefully has that one thing. I mean, and I think you and I even talked. I mean, there was that guy who videoed the Boulder, Colorado thing.
Yes. Yes. Well, yeah. Yeah. We did.
And
Yeah. Just vile. That was absolute. Oh my God. I
but
couldn't
not
believe
only
that. That was
that, like,
vile.
you couldn't answer your call of your friend who was inside. Like, I
Oh
can't even say that out loud.
no, that was what got me. That was the worst part
That
of it.
that
Yeah.
gets me. That gets me.
Can you even imagine knowing
That
that your friend?
views meant
Oh,
that much more to you.
yeah.
That upsets me as a person, that human
Yeah.
beings are starting to feel this way, and
Mhm.
it's just gross.
That it's
I
more important to video than to actually help your friend that
or
there's
anybody
something
who might have
going
been
wrong.
laying on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something wrong when that happens. And
Something's
that's
wrong
what
with
the
the
way it's
world.
yeah, that's the way it's going. And that's scary. That's
It
really
is
scary.
scary. It is,
Um,
and I have friends on, and you and I, we've talked politics as well.
yeah.
And you and I are pretty much both like, we don't have a party. I don't, at
Exactly.
least.
No.
And
Yeah.
I look at both sides and I'm like, all right, where do I fit in? I definitely don't fit in with the Democrats anymore. And I
Yeah.
look at the right and I'm like, I definitely don't fit in Republican. I just feel that there is no party for many people who feel like I do, where there's probably some truth on both sides. And there's also some fabrications on both sides. And you never know what to believe. You can sit here and do the research, but how do you know who to believe anymore? Who
Exactly.
gives you the news?
I don't think there's any party for any any of us that are just normal people. I don't think that's possible. There's always going to be one extreme or the other. I don't think there's anything for just the middle people that actually believe in what's right and what's real. We need to kind of do something about that somewhere. It's not going to happen. I know it's not.
And then you got someone like freaking Little Nas, who goes out and puts a satanic shoe out yesterday.
What? I don't know about that.
Ugh. Little Nas, right? Have you heard of him?
No, I know. No,
He came like last year. He sang that Old Town Road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the Old
Oh
Town Road.
yeah.
Well, he decided that he was going to do this. I will give him this. It's not like a horrific song. It's a pretty decent song.
Yeah.
But the message behind the song is what it's all about: Satan and worshiping Satan,
Oh,
and having a
really?
Satan shoe with blood droplets on the bottom from night. Oh, it's
I didn't
real
know that.
human blood.
I didn't know that. I've heard that song. That's that song? Is it?
Right, the Old Town Road. No, he came out with a new one.
Oh, okay.
Call Me by My Name is the name of the song.
Okay.
Interesting song, but the message behind it is all wrong. I mean, that's what's wrong with the world today. There's just no repercussions. There's no punishment. There's no repercussions or accountability for when you're wrong anymore.
Yeah.
You're just going to keep pushing until you keep, and that's what to me, the world doesn't make sense. And that's why I like coming on here, because at least you all make sense, even when we don't make sense, and people are screaming on YouTube, I can shut it off. It's very easy to shut off.
Oh yeah, but that's the thing. I was talking to somebody. YouTube is, it's so bizarre. It's so bizarre. I can't even. It's like we have our own lives. We luckily you and I have lives outside of YouTube. So it's kind of what we do because we like it. But there are people on here that's all they have. That's all.
And I understand that.
Yeah, and
I do, because I'm disabled.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I started this, was because I didn't have a job anymore to go to. My kids were getting older. My kids were in school. I had a full day, and there was nothing I could do to get myself out to work, because I would work. If I was unemployed, I would wait on tables before not taking a job, because I enjoy waiting on tables, and I waited on tables for a long time. I left a high-paying job, and when I had to go back, I would always fill in with waitressing, no matter what age I was.
Yeah.
Can't do it anymore. I mean, those days are over.
But you did that, and you did it because you wanted to and you needed to, and that's the main thing. That's the thing. That's good. And actually,
but I do understand people who this is their only outlet.
I get that,
because you got COVID out there. You got, people who are sick and can't get out.
I'm talking about creators. Not people that come on and listen. I'm talking about creators. There are sometimes you do have to kind of move away. There are always other things going on. This has to be something. It has to be with YouTube particularly. It has to be something that you enjoy. It has to be. Because it doesn't pay.
I enjoy talking with people. Exactly. I enjoy having the one-on-one.
Yeah.
I'm not monetized because I don't want to be monetized. I don't want to be.
That's what I'm saying. It has to be because you love it. It has to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's why, like, if there's times I don't come on, and I used to be like, once I found like my footing and I was going well, something would always happen, and then I'd be like off for months. Yeah. And that's how I feel like it always works. So I'm hoping it doesn't work that way. I hope I can move forward. My kids are getting back to school now. It's feeling slightly like normal, but not completely, Yeah. And God only knows, and now they're saying the numbers are going back up. And I'm like, I cannot watch the news anymore. I cannot watch the constant fear and the constant worry and it's too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
All of it's too much.
I agree. Absolutely.
I'll deal with Diane any day compared to the stuff that's on TV.
What's going? Are you able to talk about that, or do you want to do that another time? I was just wondering.
No, I'll talk, but I'm not going to use anybody's names.
No, that's fine. I just don't know what's going on. I literally haven't been watching recently.
Everything Spicy's here.
Oh my God, is Phil here?
Phil is here. I don't know.
God. I've been looking for him to go live.
Oh, hold on. But let's see if he'll come up. Let's see if he'll come up.
I'd love to see. Oh my God, I'd love to see him. I'd love to see him.
News is maddening, right? There we go. Come on up, Spicy Man.
Oh, please do.
Please do. We could use a smile.
Oh yes, we could. I have not seen him in so long. It would be lovely.
It was crazy. He texted me out of the blue the other day just to see how I was doing, and I'm like, it's Spicy.
Oh, do you know what? That's what he does. He's so lovely like that.
He's
really caring. Yeah, he really does. I got a Christmas card off him.
Lisa, he's here. Stop talking.
Hello.
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 Look at your wall.
That's incredible. Oh my goodness.
I gotta go.
Hello.
That looks fantastic.
Yeah, cool. See you. Oh,
That-
so good to see you.
Good to see you, Lisa. Well, I can't see you, Lisa, but okay.
Well, you
Yeah,
can see
I
her
know. I'm
face,
so sorry. Do you know what I would? But I look rubbish.
you know, because she's always
But
looking.
she
good.
always says she looks rubbish. So
I-
is this like worse rubbish, or is like really bad rubbish, or is
No,
this
this is
normal rubbish?
really
Normal
bad,
rubbish.
really bad rubbish. I haven't had a shower. I
Well, that-
don't come on unless I've had a
Hasn't
shower.
had a shower since 5 hours ago.
Well,
Yeah.
that's most ladies, except for 2 or 3 times a year when they really get made up to go somewhere. They all think they look like a rubbish. What most women don't realize is that their husbands or their men just like them natural the way they are, and when they get dolled up and look nice, that's nice. But for the most part, we like them just the way they are.
Oh,
Oh,
We do.
I knew I loved you. I knew I did. You're so lovely.
Because even
It's
my wife,
really
her
good
like
to
her
see you.
daily makeup, I really don't pay attention to like her daily makeup. The other day, like a week ago, she started putting on lipstick. That I noticed because I'm not used to seeing her wear lipstick like she was wearing it to work.
right.
I don't
Because
remember. she was
there
wearing it.
hasn't been a need because you
Right.
got your mask on all the time.
Right. So, well, even before then, she was never really a big, she's always because she's constantly worried about, she's constantly got dry lips, so she's constantly putting like Blistex on there or whatever, and yeah, but
Oh, but that's nice. That's really nice that you notice stuff like that. I have to say, I don't think you're on your own. Men don't tend to like the whole slap, do they?
like
I don't
what?
think they do. The slap on,
The what?
slap on. The do you not call it slap? No,
Sack?
slap on,
Slack?
slap. Slap on makeup. Makeup is slap on.
Makeup.
Yes.
Oh. Well, no, we like our ladies to be presentable, especially if we go out into public. My
Yeah.
glasses are filthy.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But no, that's lovely. It's lovely that you're like that. I think you're probably the same as a lot of men. Men don't really tend to like it, do they? They like the natural look, I think.
Well, and then I see some of these women on these reality shows, and there's a reason why they put all that extra crap on their face.
Because they look like this. They've got their faces all
Their
pushed
faces
back.
are all drawn
Pulled up.
back. Their lips are like 3 times than
Oh
what's
my
natural.
goodness.
Oh, I see
Yeah.
those women on those reality shows when they don't have their makeup on. It's like, oh my god. Well, that's what you.
I've seen that. Yeah.
For a guy, that's what if you get in the shower with your woman, that's what you got to look at. I mean, if your woman can look good in the shower with her hair wet and back, no
Yes.
makeup on, then she's good looking. If she doesn't look,
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise it's all putty and paste, and it's
You're
like false
right.
advertising.
I agree.
The way you can use makeup these days, you could be a catfish on your own. Woo.
Well, we
Yeah.
know we have people that are. Anyways.
So how you been, Spicy Man?
Oh, I'm just peachy keen, so just going where I won't say, but yeah, I got a little something. If you saw my post, it's going to be going on a little bit. So I came on. I saw you were here. I thought I'd come over and shout, yell at you a little bit, and then you invited me up. I figured, well, I can't,
Now I gotta go
a little
up.
bit.
Oh my god, it's
I love
so
going up with
good.
you guys.
So
I remember
good.
the old days. I remember the old days when I first met y'all, and we would go on the panel, and
Yeah.
Ann would be there, and Kaz would be there, and
Yeah.
we would crack up for hours.
Yeah.
The good old days.
I miss. We literally have been there from the beginning, all of us,
Mm.
haven't we? We
Mhm.
have.
Mhm.
It's the old gang.
Yep.
I
I
love
like
that.
the old gag. The gag was fun.
Yeah.
Things
Yeah,
on YouTube are crazy. So
Yeah. Well, we all kind of grow. Like Peggy went kind of her way with her channel. Lisa's not real serious about her channel, so she kind of comes and goes with her
I
stuff.
know.
Lisa just kind of. I have a YouTube channel because I can go hang out with my YouTube channel friends.
I know. Do you know what? I just work such crazy hours. It's impossible sometimes.
she does. I can't even ever get a hold of her when she's not
Literally.
working.
I work crazy hours and I get so tired. I'm exhausted. When I have my days off, I am exhausted. And it takes me like 2 days to recover from my night shifts. And then I've
Wow.
only got 2 days left. And then so it really is hard. I try really hard, but it is difficult. It really is when I work so much.
Your people in your chat
I'm
must be
trying-
afraid
I'm
of
trying.
men. They're not, since I came up here, no one is commenting.
No one's commented in a while,
Oh,
actually.
right.
They're afraid of men. That's
Yeah,
it. They're afraid
no,
of men.
they stopped commenting a long time ago. It's all good. It's all good.
It's not you. Don't you worry.
Not you.
You know what?
It's me.
It's just I'm just
I'm gonna have a complex.
No. What time are you live tonight?
About 20 minutes from now.
Oh, right. Okay. Do you think?
Yeah,
okay.
well, we'll be done.
Yeah.
And we will be
Yeah.
there.
We'll be in.
Well, I got to go over there like 10 minutes or 7 or 8 minutes before it starts, just so I can.
I understand.
Yeah.
This one I was running in. I was driving my kids around. I'm like trying to get it. Well, running is like this for me. Is to know.
I'm glad to see you're feeling better, Peg.
Well,
Doesn't she look amazing?
Yeah, she does.
looks incredible.
She's got all the color back into her skin, as much as Ginger has. Ginger usually don't have a lot of
Very
color
true.
in her skin anyway.
Very true.
Can I just say you've got
Very
two,
true.
You've got two gingers here. You got two gingers here.
Well, my oldest boy is the same way. He
Yeah.
could spend 20 minutes out in the sun in the summertime and get 2nd-degree burn. So
See,
Yeah.
normally, as long as I get like a base, I'm good.
yeah,
But if I don't have my
Same.
base, I will fry.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Absolutely with you there. Yeah, exactly.
And there
So-
was no base this year. I got 0 color this past summer that went by.
Do you know what
inside.
Do you know what I found out literally recently was, have you got blue eyes, Pegs?
I do.
Okay, so do you know that redhead, which I'm redhead blue-eyed, you're redhead blue-eyed, we are less than 1% of the world population. We are unique.
We are. We are the
We are
unicorn.
very special. Very special. I found that
I've
out
always
recently.
thought you two.
You're
were-
around 2 special unicorns right now. Aren't you lucky?
This is a 1 in a million opportunity here for you, Phil.
Oh,
But yeah, no, I mean, for me, I'm just glad to be not in the hospital. I'll tell you that.
right.
This was the longest bout in the hospital, but I was in Temple Hospital, which is in Philly. It was awful.
That was every time I was seeing you lately, or you'd call me. It seemed like you were at the hospital. I'm like, oh my gosh, what the heck, man?
I was in from August through November, had a 2-month break, and then from January to March, pretty much.
Yeah.
Wow.
COVID sucked.
Yeah.
Well, my daughter has been exposed to someone who had it. So I don't know, that means we need to be quarantined, but she's going to go get her test, and then we're going to see. I mean, I've been around
This
people.
person didn't have it anymore?
Huh?
Were they past the quarantine period?
No, the people that thought they had it took a day off of work sick, got a rapid test said negative, but they also got a 48-hour test too. And they went to work, and then they found out after they got home from work today that the 48-hour test came back positive.
Oh.
So negative one day, positive the next. My daughter was working next to the guy. She's going to see, she's got it. But it takes a couple of days for it to incubate and whatnot and get in your system. She'd go get a test
That's
now
true.
and tell her nothing,
I'm telling you, one of the worst parts is losing that taste and smell. That is bizarre. I'm like, it didn't matter what I put in my mouth. I couldn't smell rubbing alcohol.
Wow.
Dirty woman.
I'm sorry.
I didn't even think of that right away. When she laughed, I thought of it.
Sorry.
I knew. Like she went down the dirty road.
Well, again, maybe
Sorry.
not tasting anything that goes in your mouth is
I
better.
didn't say anything. I said nothing.
You didn't have to. I didn't even need to see your face move. I knew. I'm like, walk myself into that one.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's all good. Well, we will be there. We will be going over to your channel.
Yes.
And for the 5 people who are here, I hope you go over too.
Yes,
That'd be
please.
cool.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would be cool.
Yeah. I can't
Yeah.
wait.
And I will put your Hold on, I'll do it on my phone. It'll be
Can
easier
I
that
just
way.
say, I do need to say that, Phil, you are probably the most loyal person, apart from Peggy, you're the most loyal person on YouTube ever. You're just amazing. You're always there. You always pop in. And that's incredible to me. That's absolutely incredible because it's not really that well known on YouTube. So I appreciate that and I thank you. It's amazing, really amazing.
I try to. I mean,
I know you do.
there's times where I'm at work and I'll log on the computer real quick and I'll say hey in someone's thing and I have to leave because I'm at work. I can't do stuff. But and then when I come home, I'm home and I'm usually going live. If I'm not going live, I'm going on someone else's live.
Yeah, but I really do. I know that you do your best to do that, and that's such an amazing thing. I really appreciate that, and I know Ginger Lux does as well. I mean, it's incredible what you do. Honestly, you're
I like
such a
good,
friend.
honest people.
Yeah,
God, I can't wait to
absolutely.
get my new glasses.
You are. You're just lovely.
Are they new?
Absolutely lovely.
No, I get new glasses in a week from now. They're anti-glare, so
Oh,
I've been dealing with this the whole time, and it's like I never thought when I got my glasses that would be something that I needed until, of course, now you're on camera. The light in here reflects off. No one can ever see my eyes.
it looks really good. I love the whole background.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
It
It looks more professional than what I had with everybody's name written up on the board.
Oh, but that was fun too.
It was fun. I've got all these placards, with everybody's name and their member stuff on it. And I want to do something with them, but I'm thinking if I do anything with them, I'd probably have to make them smaller and put them on a wall outside of this room because I so appreciate each and every one of my subscribers, but each and every one of my members because they're like Lisa, they're committed monthly to at least a little something to help support the channel, which is awesome. So I can't. I'm lucky. I'm lucky. When I look at some of the people that are still members of my channel, I'm thinking, well, why is this person? I mean, they just support me. I'm thinking, some of these people, I don't see very often. Forgetting Lisa, I know she's busy. Yeah. And it's like they still keep their membership going, and it's like, wow, I just
absolutely. I will always be there. Absolutely, no, I'm not. Yeah, I love the fact that I'm supporting you, and you do an amazing job. And like I said, even when you pop in and just say hello, that's enough.
I was just so happy to see you.
Yeah, I will always be supporting you. No, for sure. You're amazing. I love you to bits. You know this.
Oh. You're just like my original crushes on YouTube when I first got on. One of my first girlfriends in junior high was a redhead.
Oh.
Yep, one of my first real kisses where it wasn't a peck, but you actually had a girlfriend and you actually did more than peck lips together.
I know what you mean.
It never went beyond that because it was junior high.
Right.
Okay, that makes a difference. Yeah.
I was a senior in high school. I tell you.
You were a senior in high school?
Before I gave up before someone would give up theirs so I could give up mine. Yes.
Oh. I was 21.
Oh, were you really?
I was 21.
Are you talking about?
I waited.
Are you talking about virginity?
Virginity, yes, virginity.
I was 18. I was late.
There you go.
I was late.
Both of you a bunch of sluts.
Well, boys will usually lie about it to other guys, right? Oh yeah, no, I'm not a virgin. I've been, all sorts of stuff. But yeah, no, I was probably, I would say I was 17. I was in high school, so yeah, I was 17. It was my senior year, so yeah.
Yeah, I was a freshman in college.
There you go. See,
I had to get out of my parents' house.
I'm gonna.
Ginger was a popular girl in high school.
Who, me?
You weren't you?
I wouldn't say I was popular, nor would I say I was a dork.
Okay.
I would say I had friends. I had a lot of friends.
Weren't you a cheerleader?
Yes.
Well, you're a popular kid.
That doesn't necessarily make you popular.
Girls don't think that makes them popular. She wasn't the most popular cheerleader. She wasn't dating the quarterback or the center for the basketball team. But
well, I did.
But see, there you go.
Oh, you're all talking a foreign language
just
to me
being
now. I have
humble.
no
No.
idea what you're talking about.
Oh my God, she has no idea what we're talking
No
about. She
idea.
has no, because we're talking about quarterbacks and
No.
cheerleaders. She's like, I
No.
don't know. Oh.
Just
No.
the popular kids in high school.
Haven't you ever seen the collegiate like cheerleading competitions, Lisa?
No.
I just gotta send her. I will send you what cheerleading is. I used to. Well, she doesn't know football. You know basketball,
No, we
right?
don't. Well, we don't have we have just normal.
You have
football
soccer.
where men just vomit over each other and throw beer at each other, and there's no.
Isn't that rugby?
Yeah, I mean, don't guys
rugby.
that play rugby, aren't there girls on the
Yeah,
sidelines
rugby
in
too, yeah.
pom-poms and short skirts?
No,
They keep them motivated while they beat the hell out of each other.
No,
Huh.
football. We have football and rugby. Football and rugby. There's nothing like that. No, they're just men that get dirty and hug each other in the scrum, and get naked in the showers. And football is the same. They've got wives and stuff, but there's no. We don't have cheerleaders in this country at all. Not at all.
They
No.
do
She's like, hell
they
no.
do touch
No.
they do touch each
No.
other in rugby.
What's so bad about cheerleaders?
I don't know.
Nothing
I don't know.
bad about
We don't
cheerleaders. They're just,
have them. No, we've never had
It
that.
was well, cheerleading stemmed from football, which is an American sport. So, our football, not soccer.
yes.
We understand that yours is the original football. We do understand that.
We don't have anything like you. Okay, it's probably a bit different for me. We had a kind of a prom at my school when I left school, but I was at a girls' school, so it was really crap.
Weren't you allowed to bring a boy?
No, there were no boys there. I went to a convent school. So
But we didn't allow you to bring a date to your prom?
no boys at our prom.
Well, they probably don't have proms and crap like that in other countries.
Well,
No, they do now. They do
now.
Yeah.
Well, now they're taking on all the American traditions.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, exactly. They are. But when
we went away for
I
the
finished
weekend when I went to prom.
Yeah.
We went up to the Poconos. And the thing, like,
Ooh.
I was 18 and oh my God, I couldn't even imagine letting my kid do what I did. No. No.
and yet the kids are exposed to so much more at a younger age. You know, well, you figure, kids and their phones, right? Kids and their laptops, the things that they're exposed to there that we were never exposed to.
We were talking about this earlier, weren't we?
We were just talking about this.
Exactly what we were talking about. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I hated giving my youngest person that's ever had a cell phone was my son out here. I think he got one 14 or 15 years old. We got him his cell phone, and it's just, once you give a young man a cell phone, he's seeing naked girls.
Yeah.
Sorry, he is seeing nudity. He is seeing it's no longer have to Yep. It's
yeah. You don't have to go fight and try to find it in like a drugstore to get the Penthouse magazine.
You don't have to go to the bra section in the magazine.
Seriously,
you don't have to go to National Geographic and see these women with plates in their lips that are topless.
Yeah, but and I'm like, okay, that's not dirty.
But Phil, what we were saying earlier is that when we were kids, we would go partying, we'd get really, really drunk.
And lie to your parents.
And the only people that would know about it would be our friends that were there at the time. Right now,
they don't have that.
It's if you're at a party and somebody it's going to be across the country.
It can be, yep. Well, you've seen these famous people, as soon as they do something stupid, like Michael Phelps.
As soon as they do something
right?
In our day. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
Oh my God, we sound so old right now.
Yeah.
Just call us the boomers.
But it's true though, isn't it? It's true. And that's what I feel actually really good about that we could do whatever we wanted, and it was only our close circle that would have
I've got to go over to my stream, guys.
Yeah,
you go to your stream. We'll be over shortly.
We're gonna
all right, guys. Love you. We'll see you over there.
Love you too.
See you in a bit. Love you. Bye.
A little nostalgic, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was lovely. Oh, I love him. I love him.
I do. I love him too.
Yeah.
He's such a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you stay here, but I'm going to end this real quick. Don't you go anywhere for 1 second. But bye, everyone. We're going to head over to Everything Spicy, and we will see you later. Thanks for joining.